All right, thank you for joining me here on this lovely Thursday evening and Thursday night even at this point. The time is now 8:31 p.m. Central, 9:31 p.m. Eastern, and we have a big-time tornado on the ground in Thornhill, Tennessee. If you know anybody out here in this area, make sure to let them know what's going on because this is very significant. Just one radar scan ago, we did have a massive CC drop with this here, so this is a very strong tornado, and it is currently moving over some contamination, but it is very clear that it is still there. So, again, if you know anybody out here in this area, make sure to let them know what's going on. Send them this stream. Please share this stream all over the place as much as you can because we've got ourselves a very significant situation ongoing tonight between this and another area of strong rotation further down to the south towards Knoxville, Tennessee. We've got ourselves quite the event to watch tonight. So we were actually live for about an hour here earlier today, and we have had quite a bit of activity in between our last stream and now. We had a big-time tornado move over portions of Middle Tennessee, actually. It was off near the Cookeville area. I do believe it was pretty close to the, I don't remember what it was called, but it was in a foresty area. We had a big-time CC drop, and it was a big-time tornado. It was over Deer Lodge in particular. That was the town. If we take a look at velocities here, we can see that we had a very clear velocity couplet, even looking, tens of thousands of feet up into the atmosphere here. We also had a big-time debris signature, which is not something we typically see unless it is a very strong to even violent tornado, so I'd imagine that's what we had occurred. Again, we had a few mile wide debris signature just off to the east of Deer Lodge at one point, but luckily this was a very, very rural area. The only reason that this did end up picking up so much stuff for the most part was because it's a very foresty heavy area. There's a lot of trees, stuff like that, but it did end up going right over Deer Lodge as well, unfortunately, so we likely did have some significant damage to the Deer Lodge area there. I imagine that's like a campsite or something, and it's actually that same storm that is still ongoing off to the northeast of Knoxville with the radar indicated tornado warning, but again, the observed tornado warning, or the confirmed tornado, it's technically not an observed tornado warning for some reason, is further off to the north here. Again, this is near the Thornhill, Tennessee area. Again, it's moving over some contamination right now, but you can still kind of see the debris signature there just to the southeast of Thornhill, Tennessee, and we're continuing to watch that here over the next little while. So, I'm very sorry that I did not go live in between the stream earlier this afternoon and now. I did have some personal issues going on, but we are all cleared up and we are ready to go. So, again, thank you all for joining me here on this lovely, lovely Thursday evening. Let me go ahead and get my iPad real quick so we can read chat. I will be back in literally like 30 seconds. And we are back. So, again, thank you all for joining me here. Let me go ahead and get stream chat up very quickly. Again, this is an ongoing tornado here. It is now observed by the National Weather Service there. Again, this is a radar-confirmed tornado. This is, again, a damaging tornado. This, again, if this stays on the ground, this could be quite a problem for some of these areas because we do have a few little towns and, cities and stuff like that out in this region of eastern Tennessee. So, again, good to see the usual crowd back in here once again. How's it going, everybody? How's it going? Peachy, Gooseman, Cardboard, Aaron, we have Jesse. Yeah, I saw all those tornado warnings that we had earlier. Again, devastating stuff. I did not go live earlier, and I'll explain that tomorrow. Sorry about that. But we are here now, and that is all that matters. Again, tornado warning for Thornhill and Rock Haven. Get an ongoing tornado there over Rock Haven, Tennessee, as we speak. This is moving towards Beans, right over the Highway 11 West corridor here towards Mary Chapel, Wyatt Village, and Crosby. This is a big-time tornado. Again, velocities were off the charts just a couple of scans ago, off to the northwest of Rock Haven, especially in the Thornhill area. We had gate-to-gate shear getting well over 100 miles an hour. If we take a look at this here, we can see that it was getting closer to, 120 miles an hour even. We had 51 against 63, so we were talking, 114 mile an hour gate-to-gate shear. So very significant tornado for a brief period of time. It has since weakened out, but we still do have debris in the atmosphere. So again, if you're in this area, get underground if you can, but if you can't get underground, get on the lowest floor of a sturdy building in an interior room away from windows and protect your head. That's going to be one of the biggest things here, all right? You need to make sure that you got a helmet on if you can, like if you got any baseball helmets, if you've got like motorcycle helmets somewhere down in the basement or something like that, head down there, cover your head, because again, this is a big time tornado, the kind that has that good potential to damage significant homes and just cause real destruction across all these communities. So again, we have got to really watch out for this here. Again, this is now moving towards the town of Beans, right across Highway 11 West. past. Again, we have had several significant tornadoes today. We had the tornado up in Kentucky today. We had a tornado earlier in Tennessee, and now we've got a tornado on the ground in eastern Tennessee. Again, a big-time tornado, and we do have this rotation continuing to strengthen near Midway, Tennessee as well. Again, this is a part that was originally near the... I don't remember what town it was again, but this was a part of a storm that originally produced a big-time tornado near Deer Lodge, Tennessee. Thank you, Mr. Twister. Yeah, and I'm sorry I was not live earlier, guys. Again, I'm going to explain more of that later tomorrow. Again, and if I don't explain it well enough in my video that's coming out, I'm going to kind of talk about it in a stream. But yeah, thank you all for joining me here. Again, we're here now. That's all that matters. We still do have an ongoing tornado, most likely over Highway 11 West near Beans. Again, the debris signature is still there at the very least. So even if there's still not a tornado on the ground at this point, we've still got pieces of homes, pieces of trees, buildings, businesses, stuff like that being thrown thousands of feet up into the atmosphere and reflecting back onto the radar here. And this little yellow blob, that is a sign of an ongoing tornado or at least debris in the atmosphere. And again, those reds and the greens, where they meet there, that's indicative of strong rotation. So even if this tornado has lifted, there's still debris in the atmosphere, and we've still got that potential to see this recycle another one. So again, I would be taking all precautions possible at this point to protect your life. I mean, this is a very serious situation that we do have ongoing here. This is moving through Beans as we speak, and it's continuing to push southeastward towards Crosby, Tennessee. Now, luckily, this is not the most populated area in the world, but we do have a tornado warning for the Knoxville area further down to the south, and that is actually likely producing an ongoing tornado. It looks like we have some sort of debris signature that may be developing there. It's hard to say, though, at this point in time. It could just be significant contamination. That's definitely a possibility, actually. So we'll see over the next couple scans what that is. But for right now, we've really got to focus in on our tornado further off to the north here. Again, this is moving towards Mary Chapel. Again, at quite tight velocities at this point in time. Again, this is heading over towards the Mary Chapel area, Wyatt Village, and Crosby, all in southeastern Tennessee here. So, northeastern Tennessee, I should say. So again, if you're in this area, make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately. If you have any friends or family out here, make sure to send this stream, let them know what's going on. Let me go ahead and take the green screen down. I had this up just for a video that I was filming a moment ago, but again, we've got ourselves a very significant tornado on the ground right now, and if it's not still on the ground, it was on the ground just a couple of minutes ago. It does look like the debris signature is weakening out at this point, and not quite as significant as it was before, so that's good news. But again, if you know anybody in this area, you still got to make sure that they know what's going on, because in a lot of situations like this, you live deep in the mountains of northeast Tennessee. Some places don't even have cell service, so they're not getting that wireless emergency alert that's sent to phones whenever there's a tornado warning issued. So again, very serious situation ongoing here, and this is moving towards Crosby, Tennessee as we speak. And then again, we've also got this situation where we've got a tornado developing further down to the south, most likely near the McMahon area, Beach Springs, Kodak, and Alder Branch. So again, if you know to be out here, this is on the east side of Knoxville. Make sure to let them know what's going on here as well. We did have some anticyclonic rotation early on the north side of Knoxville, Tennessee, developing over the Oakwood Lincoln Park, so we'll see if we have any damage from that region, but we've really got to hope not. We did not have a debris signature or anything, so that's the good news. But if we do have a tornado that did end up touching down over there, that would be devastating since that is such a populated area. So, again, how's it going, everybody? Let me know where y'all are tuning in from so that we know what areas to cover. Obviously, we're mainly going to be focused in on our tornadoes here in eastern Tennessee. However, we've still got plenty of other areas that need to be watched as well. We've got thunderstorms ranging all the way from West Virginia back into Georgia, and we've got ourselves tornadoes going all across eastern Tennessee right now. And, again, earlier today, portions of Kentucky ended up seeing some as well. So, again, very significant severe weather / tornado event ongoing right now. Again, this is our third confirmed ongoing tornado of the day. This is on a slight risk day, which is pretty crazy to see. Again, we had less than 1,500 Cape, but we had enough wind shear to really produce some significant severe storms here, producing big-time tornadoes. Again, we had plenty of SRH, so again, this really is quite a crazy event that we do have ongoing. And not to toot my own horn, but a few days ago, or I believe even yesterday, we said that today would honestly probably be bigger than yesterday. So again, we called that one pretty good, but again, I don't want to, this isn't a time just to sit here and say, ha ha, look at me, I was right. But again, it is just worth noting that we weren't totally shocked by this, unfortunately. Now, was I expecting this to be, this big of an event? Definitely not. Again, seeing this many tornado warnings in one day has definitely been surprising. We've had dozens of tornado warnings today. We've had times where there have been 5 at once. This is one of those big-time severe weather outbreaks. What's up, Alex? But yeah, this rotation is about to cross over Highway 25 East. And again, our southern rotation there is going to kind of continue to ride just to the south of Interstate 40. So we'll see what happens with both of these rotations over the next little while. It does look like we could actually have a little bit of rotation developing off to the west, closer to the Edgemore area here. If we take a look at this, we see that part of our line here is broadly rotating based off of the velocities. Maybe another sort of rotation trying to develop there north of Knoxville, near the Fountain City area. So we'll see what happens with that as well. But again, right now, we're mainly going to have to look out for our storm that previously produced a tornado. Again, it's no longer ongoing. However, that was very significant for a few minutes, that's for sure. Again, that was a big-time tornado on the ground for probably a good 15 minutes. We do still have a little bit of debris in the atmosphere, it looks like, so if you're in this area, stay in your safe spot, because this could also recycle another tornado, certainly. If it did it once, it can certainly do it again. It's definitely got that power with it still. We've got plenty of cape and quite a bit of wind shear as well out here in this atmosphere. So I will say, for this Henry Crossroads, Tennessee storm, even if this is not going to produce a tornado over the next several minutes. Hey, Sam with the $1 dono, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Again, donating is optional, but we really do appreciate those that go above and beyond and decide to do that. But as I was saying, again, even if we don't end up seeing a tornado with this storm further down to the south here, we do have significant damaging winds moving over SR 66 near Henry Crossroads, north of Sevierville. So again, if you're in this area, make sure that you are moving indoors, away from windows, and on the lowest floor of a building, preferably a basement or a bathroom in the middle of your house. That would work almost just as well. Again, we've got ourselves a pretty serious situation ongoing right now. So again, we've really got to make sure that everybody is staying safe out here, because it's always the folks that think, oh, I've been under a tornado warning a million times, I know how this goes, they end up getting hurt because they don't take shelter, they don't take the proper precautions, and things are not too well for them. So we got Kat saying, am I safe at Mosheim, Tennessee? Let's see where that's at. So right now, you are not under a tornado warning at the moment, but I will say we do have this storm that is currently tornado warned heading your way. This is going to be heading southeast, and it could potentially bring some significant impacts to your area, including the threat for hail, wind, and again, yes, maybe, if it were to stay intact long enough, a potential tornado, but I wouldn't bet on that. So while no, you're not under a tornado warning right now, do be on the lookout for the next little while here, but at the moment, you are safe, yes. So let's go and update that tornado warning counter. I did notice that it's actually off the screen here, so sorry about that. Let's go ahead and fix that really quickly. But yeah, again, we're going to continue to watch this. The tornado warning has been extended for our Knoxville storm out towards the Newport, Tennessee area for sections of I-40. Again, this is significant rotation off to the north of Sevierville. This is over Grandview Estates. It's starting to get tighter as well, so again, if you're in this area, you need to make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately. This is a very serious storm over Alder Branch. Again, it's quite contaminated, but we definitely do still have some significant rotation ongoing no matter what with this storm. So again, Newport, Tennessee, Sevierville, all these areas here, need to make sure you're seeking shelter now, not in a few minutes, now, because debris can get thrown miles away from where the actual tornado is, if the tornado is strong enough. And the debris is really the dangerous part of a tornado. You know, people think the problem is you get sucked up into it, and that's not really what happens. It's usually we got debris being thrown into the air by the tornado, and it ends up hitting you in the head. And that is what usually ends up causing the most significant injuries and fatalities in events like this. So, again, we got to make sure that we are keeping everybody safe out here tonight in eastern Tennessee. A pretty scary night, to say the least. What's up, Minecraft Delivery? We had at least 2 strong tornadoes today, with today only being a 2% tornado risk. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Again, that slight risk was issued, and I was kind of surprised they didn't throw it to a 5% tour risk, considering that's what they did yesterday, but we are here. And again, they did have a tornado outlook, so, I mean, good for them for predicting that, at least, because this really was an incredibly hard event to forecast. It was impossible to say exactly what was going to happen and when it was going to happen. So, again, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Again, I'm sorry I did not go live earlier today. I've been dealing with some issues, but again, I kind of explained that a little bit tomorrow in my video, but I'm thinking at this point I might also do like a quick stream kind of explaining what's going on too. But I'm also going to have some fun tomorrow doing some stuff for my birthday that's coming up in a few days. So, I don't know. We'll see. But again, I do appreciate everybody joining tonight. Again, we've still got ourselves some broad rotation here at the very least with our storm over Alder Branch, but I imagine it's quite strong. Again, it's so contaminated, it's hard to tell, but we do have some sort of hook feature developing there over Cattlesburg and Alder Branch, Tennessee, so we'll look out for that region there. That could potentially be indicative of some sort of developing tornado. And we do have a severe thunderstorm warning now for the Moshim area, so whoever asked about Moshim, you are now under a severe thunderstorm warning for some 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts, but this is not a tornado warning, so make sure that you're just moving indoors, getting away from windows, because some damaging winds, knocking over trees, power lines, stuff like that are going to be possible with this thunderstorm here. But luckily at this point, we do not think that there's any sort of significant tornado threat with it. We think that that all dissipated at this point, so that is good. Again, going back to our Sevierville storm here, this is definitely still a very significant ongoing situation over Alder Branch and Catlettsburg, Tennessee. This is going to continue to move off to the east, riding Highway 411 over the next several minutes here, and it's going to eventually make its way towards Newport, Tennessee. So again, it's got that nasty little hook echo trying to develop that we all know far too well. We're lucky that this is not a discrete supercell. You can see it's got all those classic supercellular features, but it is technically not a supercell due to the fact that it is just a part of this line in general. So that is probably the only thing stopping this from producing a big-time tornado at this point. I'd imagine this is definitely a pretty scary thing to see at this moment in time, because we have seen countless tornadoes today that have just popped up out of nowhere from some of these storms, some of them being extremely strong. So again, we got to make sure that this is not one of those that does the same exact thing. There's a good chance that it will, but there's also always that chance that that might not happen. So we don't want to scare anybody, but we do want to prepare folks. So again, if you are out here in this area, make sure you're staying safe. Again, this is off to the north of Sevierville right now in Tennessee, but everybody, even if you're in Sevierville, please seek shelter, because again, in the off chance that this storm is actively producing a tornado that we just don't know about, it could be throwing debris miles away from where it actually is, and that would mean raining debris in Sevierville. So we've really got to make sure that everybody in this polygon is staying safe and taking shelter. Sure, maybe if you're like all the way in Newport, you've got a few minutes if there's like an absolute emergency going on that you've got to deal with at the moment, but otherwise we encourage you guys to get to your safe spot as soon as possible as well. Again, even if this storm is not producing a tornado, we got a big time wind bag with this over the Alder Branch area. We've also got a lot of lightning that could be indicative of some intensification with this storm, so we could be seeing this storm getting stronger, to put that into layman's terms. If we take a look at the vertically integrated liquid signatures as well, we can see we've got a massive swath of large hail here over areas in Alder Branch, Shady Grove, all the way back through the Danbridge region. So, again, if you are out here in this area, really just try to take this as seriously as possible. I mean, we're talking about every single kind of threat with this storm. We've got hail, we've got wind. Again, this is even tornado warning. It does have some broad rotation, again, with that hook echo there just off to the north of Sevierville, we do believe, near the Alder Branch area. So, again, if you're in this area, seek shelter immediately. This is heading towards Harrisburg, Crockett'sville, Bird Crossroad, Maple Spring, Sunset Gap, and surrounding areas. So, alright, that is continuing to stay broad for the most part, but we got to make sure that we're not letting our guard down entirely, because that certainly could reproduce a tornado at any point. We do have some significant damaging wind reports from the Cookeville, Tennessee area from earlier today. We have reports of power lines down and also a transformer blown over, and it makes me think that we actually did have a tornado over here earlier, because there actually was a significant area of rotation on the north side of Cooksville, Tennessee earlier today. If we take a look at this, unfortunately I was not able to go live for this one because I was not home at this point, but if we take a look at velocities, we can see that even from this radar site, we can see that definite rotation that we did have earlier that was quite strong. I guess this is the Nashville radar that we're looking at, okay, but you get the gist. Again, very strong rotation on the north side of Cookeville that we had earlier, and again, it was even closer actually to the Gainsboro, Tennessee area, which was quite nerve-wracking, but we never had a confirmed tornado with that. But it does make you question things whenever you see tens of thousands of power, or not tens of thousands, but thousands of power outages, and then also reports of stuff like, transformers being blown over. That is pretty significant, so we've got to really be on the lookout here for sure. Yeah, there are two midways in Tennessee. It's always something I've found very weird. I've expressed my feeling towards that several times before. By the way, Sam, let's go and get your donation updated on the dono board. Sorry, I forgot to do that. There we go. Well, we can't confirm that we had a tornado outbreak yet because, again, we only had 3 confirmed tornadoes at this point. But, again, with all the speculative tornadoes that we may or may not have, sure, if those were all ended up being tornadoes, which I would be surprised by, then yes, we did have a tornado outbreak. But I see what you're saying. It is certainly a potential, as you mentioned there. But for the most part, this was a big-time damaging wind event and flooding event more than anything else. Damaging winds persisted across Kentucky and Tennessee all day long, and significant flash flooding was over parts of West Virginia last night into this morning. So, all in all, a very significant event, no matter what way you look at it from. Whether you're talking about it from a damaging wind aspect, from a tornado aspect, looking at the flooding that occurred, especially over the Charleston, West Virginia area. I mean, everything was just very significant with this event here. So again, this is a, again, potentially developing tornado here as it moves towards Newport, Tennessee. It's starting to become detached from that line, which is really not what we wanted to happen, because that's going to mean this storm is going to become discrete. It's going to have the potential to suck up the entirety of this environment up here, keeping it all to itself, all that cape, all that wind shear, and that could definitely cause this to strengthen a significant amount. Again, it's such a clean supercell. I mean, if this wasn't attached to the line of storms here, we could have a very real problem. Were these strong tornadoes predicted? I know there was, at one point there was a PDS tornado warning. There was never a PDS tornado warning today. If you're asking whether or not we expected strong tornadoes today, the answer to that's going to be no. There's a town name called Wasp. That is terrifying. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now for the north side of Johnson City, Tennessee. This is for our Churchill storm. This is just going to produce some damaging winds. It does have some broad rotation south of Kingsport, but as of right now, there's definitely no tornado ongoing with that, so we are in the clear. We only have one tornado warning at this point. Give me just a second here. We have way too many text boxes up here. I need to clean out my severe weather layouts. I may even just completely reset them all and make new ones before our next stream. Welcome back, Mr. Twister. There was no PDS tornado. No, it never went PDS. I mean, you can look, but I'm like 99.9% sure that this did not go PDS. If you're talking about, I mean, any of them today, but I assume you're talking about our Tennessee one. Yeah, there's no confirmed tornado. There was no PDS tornado, I should say, not confirmed. We did have a few confirmed tornadoes, obviously, but alright, so rotation is starting to get a little bit stronger once more with our storm towards Bulls Gap, Tennessee. Yeah, last time we had a PDS tornado warning would have been all the way, or no, we had a PDS tornado warning for Pelahatchie, Mississippi with Winter Storm Blair, so January 5th. Alright, again, if we don't have a tornado ongoing here, this is a significant damaging wind bagging, and we're talking like 65, 70 mile an hour damaging winds, so no, it never went PDS. You can scroll back through the Twitter page, the National Weather Service tornado account, and you can see every tornado warning that was issued and all the updates to every single one of them, and there's no mention of a PDS at any point today, so rotation near Knoxville, yeah. We mentioned that earlier. It is starting to strengthen up a little bit again, but again, it's a part of this line of storms, so it's very unlikely that it would be strong enough to produce a tornado anytime soon, so I'm not saying we're completely in the clear there, but I think for the most part we should be fine for the near future at least. It's going to remain rotation right now, being just west of Bird Crossroad, Tennessee. And this is our only 20-1 storm at this point. Hi, Davis. Hope all is well. Sullivan, Missouri. Cold tonight, but quiet. Yeah, certainly. That's a pretty good way to put it. It is quite cold back here in the sections of the Midwest and the Central Plains, but for the most part, things are pretty quiet right now. There's no sort of rain or thunderstorms or any sort of precipitation at all, really. So, let's hope so, Sam. We may have strengthening rotation with our storm off to the north towards the Kingsport area. My mouse just died. That's not great. It's really not ideal. We might have to do this the old-fashioned way. Chat, it's time for iPad Omega to come back. Holy cow, this brings back nostalgia. I remember doing this for streams. Alright, it's going to be a little laggy, just keep that in mind. But it's something. Let me just charge my mouse really quickly, and then we'll move back to the computer again in just a sec. Sorry about that. What's up, BikeX? Alrighty. Maybe we should do this from the phone instead. I don't know, the mouse will be charged again in a few minutes anyways. Just looks so low quality from this, holy crap. I don't remember it looking this blurry and like this bad. It doesn't look this bad on the device. It's just the screen mirror, I guess, but very, very blurry. And we do have a new tornado warning. Oh, that's satisfying to hear the sound going off twice. But it is for that storm there on the north side of Johnson City, Tennessee, as we literally just said like 5 seconds ago. That is continuing to strengthen in terms of its rotation. So if you're on the north side of Johnson City, Elizabethton, Piney Flats, Buffalo, Blountville, all these areas, make sure that you're seeking shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows and in an interior room. Significant rotating thunderstorm on its way. We just got an update to our Newport, Tennessee tornado warning. It is still a radar indicated warning. Continue to look out, though. Let's see if the mouse is back up. Yes, it indeed is. So let's go back here to our Newport storm. We'll just kind of sit here for a sec. Alrighty, so our big old wind bag continuing to move through the Bird Crossroad area. Gonna keep pushing southeast here. I'm going to guess that Vivian Stephenson is a bot based on the number of punctuation marks in her sentence. Alright, so again, no ongoing tornadoes at this time. But again, this storm just to the north of Johnson City is concerning me for sure. Over Deerfield. As that crosses Interstate 81, we've got to be on the lookout. I mean, this is really strengthened up pretty fast. I've been to Pigeon Forge once before, or twice before, maybe. I don't know. Again, something's weird is going on here with our storm over Bird Crossroad, just southwest of Newport. I mean, that is again, it's an odd circumstance. It looks like our supercell, for the most part, is starting to lose some steam. It's starting to lose that classic hook echo shape, so that's good. You see how it's kind of curving back into that natural line shape. That means that it's likely losing a bit of a tornado threat there. Now, could that still produce a tornado at some point in its lifetime? Sure, it could recycle, but temporarily, at least, it is weakening. That's for certain. I've been to Dolly Parton Stampede and Hatfield and McCoy's. See, I don't really remember anything because I was very young whenever I went, but I remember seeing the mountains and thinking they were cool. Just because that's not terrain you see in the middle of Illinois. Rotation near Romeo, Tennessee. Oh, yep. We do have a little bit of broad rotation there with that storm, yeah. And that has the tornado possible tag on it. It is not a tornado warning at the moment, as rotation is definitely not prompted one in any way, shape, or form. Rotation near Knoxville, but on the weaker side of things. Yeah, it's been on the weaker side of things for the past few minutes. Again, I doubt that will strengthen to the point where it gets any sort of warning. But it did have a good bit of rotation there for a while. It's pretty contaminated, though, so it was kind of hard to see. Again, our Johnson City storm continuing to look quite impressive there, but not as impressive, admittedly. Setup stream was wild the other day. What'd you make after the fees and stuff, out of curiosity? Maybe that's something we save for another day. I don't know if I'm quite ready to reveal that just yet. That was definitely a crazy stream, though, and again, I can't thank you guys all enough for that support. That was unbelievable. Made the 500 setups worth it. I will say, though, I'm still having some abdominal pain whenever I'm doing, like, really intense stuff, like working out. But we're surviving. That's all that matters. That was a joke. Do not try to do stuff like that at home with no practice like I did, because it did not go well. I didn't even think anything was bad at first. I mean, whenever I was done, I was just happy because I was making a bunch of money, but then it started to slowly but surely sink in over the next few days. So again, our severe thunderstorm watch does remain in effect for sections of northeast Tennessee and one little county there in southwestern North Carolina for the next 2 hours. What is going on here? Our storm moved through our rotation. It is glitching out big time. Or, sorry, it moved through our contamination, not rotation. What am I saying, dude? Hope these people are taking shelter and staying safe. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people are going to be asleep at this hour. So hopefully they have, again, as we say, you should always have multiple ways to receive alerts on hand when one of these nighttime events does end up coming up. They've got to be ways that will wake you up, too. They've got to be annoying. They've got to be loud so that you will get up and do something about it. Because, again, events like these are the dangerous ones. They're not forecast to be huge, but they end up being huge. More snow on top of our 9 or 10 inches soon. Over a foot by Sunday snowmobiling time. Have fun. Sunday's my birthday. Yeah, I know. The mountains caused the contamination, but... Thank you, Cardboard. Still a few days till my birthday, but I do appreciate all the happy early birthday wishes I've gotten. All of our storms all at once kind of lost a lot of steam. I mean, we've still got our Knoxville storm, actually, that looks to have a little bit of broad rotation with it. But again, that's very contaminated. I really wouldn't think that we would see anything with that. But who knows? Crazier things have happened. Thank you, Bike. But yeah, I mean, just in general, I don't really think this is going to be anything massive for the rest of the night. And I mean, we've got, these storms traveling through areas that have 200, 300, 400 joules per kilogram of CAPE. That is just not enough to support them in any way, shape, or form. And I mean, sure, we've got a lot of that wind shear, but it's not. Really, no amount of wind shear at this point is enough to keep these storms going for too much longer, so I'd imagine pretty soon they're going to start to taper out. I just realized I said massive and taper in one little statement there, and I did not do that intentionally, but... yeah, I think because of that fact, it's safe to jump out early here tonight. Again, guys, I'm sorry I'm jumping out so early. There's reasons that, again, may or may not be explained later on. But again, if anything serious does happen again, we will come back here in just a little bit. But I will see you guys all in the next one. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, sorry about the lack of streaming today. We did almost 2 hours of coverage, so that makes me pretty happy. But I do think we should have and definitely could have been live for a lot longer. But... again, some unfortunate stuff happened. Everything's okay. There's nothing seriously wrong, but it's just annoying. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you